What's up, blockchain? This is Nick from Truth Blitz. Hope you guys are having a good day. So let's take a little look at the market, and we're back above 8,000. It's a far cry from our high, but it does appear that we have found the floor of the pullback, and we are on our ascent back up. So very good things, very good things. Right now we're looking at $386 billion overall market cap. Bitcoin is 81.95, and we are having a nice green day, which is always a good thing. Populus is still down though, which is surprising. It really is. You know, as most of you who follow Populus know, you know, we were up in the high 70s, I believe. And Populus has yet to recover. So $35.50. I'm really wondering what's going to happen when Debitum gets released, because I did, as I said, get involved with Debitum, which is very similar to Populus. Their business model is almost identical. So, you know, who says there's not room for more than one company for competitors, right? That's what happens in a free market. So anyway, I want to talk a little bit about Cointelegraph. You know, I was looking at articles today, and this one really caught my eye, because I've thought this before about Cointelegraph, and they're very, what's the word I'm looking for? They like to push FUD, it seems. You know, and it kind of makes me raise a question, like, who runs Cointelegraph? What are their connections? I really don't know. It's something I think I'm going to kind of look into, and I very briefly tried to, and it seems like there's a lot of secrecy about who owns and runs Cointelegraph. You know, but it makes me wonder. You know, I mean, this is me putting on my tinfoil hat again, but, you know, what is their real agenda when they are constantly putting out articles that are very FUD driven? So it's like, you know, we already know about this China thing. We already know about South Korea. Here's another one. But yet they recycle old news and try to drive up hype about it again. It almost appears maybe to, I don't know, to get people scared again. When, you know, we're now getting over this and starting our ascent back up, like I said. So, you know, this is an article explaining South Korea's regulation, and there's a couple parts of it that are very fuddy, I guess you could say. You know, how much will South Korea's planned regulations affect the crypto industry? In the short term, the effects are quite severe. South Korea being such a big cryptocurrency market means that government regulatory decisions result in big impacts on the crypto market globally. Okay, and they keep using the word ban in this article. So the regulations in South Korea really, as most of you know if you've been following it, really weren't anything that crazy. They wanted to eliminate anonymous exchange accounts, you know, things of that nature. And, you know, they make it seem like it's this death blow to the crypto market. Let's get into China. You know, we all heard about China the other day. This was, you know, one of the last days of our downtrend in the market before we started this, what is hopefully a steady recovery. And you know, and now, like I said, we're in recovery, it seems. We're on our way back up. And then they put out, China lines up its KO punch. Will it work? So it's like, you know, what is their real agenda here? You know, are they trying to scare people out of the market? Are they trying to drive prices down? And if so, why? Who are they working for? Who are they in bed with? You know what I mean? And again, like I said, this is me putting on my tinfoil hat. And I talked the other day in a video about the name Cointelegraph, and And what is in the beginning of this name? Cointel. You know, for those of you who don't know what COINTELPRO is, look it up. Counterintelligence Program is what it stands for. So, and I've heard other people make this comment before about Cointelegraph. So I know I'm not the only one who maybe has these questions and might think this about Cointelegraph. Cointelegraph does put out some good news that you might not hear otherwise, you know, but it's always, you don't see those ones on Google Newsstand, right? When I turn on my phone and Google Newsstand comes up and it's a cryptocurrency article that's bad, it's from Cointelegraph. So, you know, Google doesn't recycle the good articles from Cointelegraph, only the very FUD ones that are, you know, what it seems like are there to drive up fear and uncertainty in the market. So, you know, we're just going to touch on this real quick. China has not had the steadiest relationship with Bitcoin. Once it was the center of the cryptocurrency universe until it got too big for its boots and started drawing attention from the controlling government. The bans came first for ICOs, then for exchanges, yet it only slowed rather than stopped the growth of Bitcoin in general and cryptocurrencies as a whole in the People's Republic. The idea was to stamp out Bitcoin and its affiliates as the Chinese government took exception to its freedom of money and the movement of it over the borders. However, even these bans were unprecedented and harsh. They never really laid the killing blow. So now they're basically building up to talk about, you know, this death blow that China's gonna, you know, listen, as long as people have internet connection, they will find ways around this, okay? The last time they tried to put in this ban, this first step of the ban and banning exchanges in China, people found ways around it. And they will do this yet again, okay? They want to go another route. You know, I know if China has blocked different VPNs, they will find other ways, okay? It's like a game of cat and mouse, you know? So, let's look at this part. Will it work? Regulation of the cryptocurrency space has been a very divided subject for a lot of nations who have been forced into action by its monumental growth. Wow, I can't even read today. Monumental growth. Mostly, it is a case-by-case scenario where different nations choose their level of control. Japan has accepted the currency and is playing a wait-and-see game, while China is trying to lead the way in terms of stern action. In an article which was recounted by the South China Morning Post, it explained the reasoning for this latest move. The article acknowledged the recent attempts to stamp out digital currencies by shutting down domestic exchanges had failed to completely eradicate trading. Dangerous game. This is the Chinese government's last shot at stamping out Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, something that will be eagerly watched by many regulators in terms of a possible avenue to follow. However, should it fail and Bitcoin find another way to function in a society that has become accustomed and ingrained with it, then the regulators will take a big hit in their hard-nosed approach. This could actually be a defining moment for regulation that will either lead to blanket bans popping up all over, or it could force the governments to come off their high horses and accept and integrate Bitcoin and others. So it kind of leaves it off where, you know, it could go either way. But, you know, again, I don't have any proof of this. I don't know. It just seems like they like to put out these type of articles to drive fear in the market. You know, CoinDesk, which doesn't put out as many articles but does put out very good articles. I like CoinDesk as well. And you know, when you see articles like this one, decentralized marketplace, Open Bazaar now accepts Bitcoin Cash. There's a couple good ones. You know, Cointelegraph talked about this too, but floor found, strong volumes push Bitcoin above 8,000. Singapore Deputy Prime Minister, no strong case to ban cryptocurrency trading. Bitcoin up 20% as crypto markets regain poise. and so on and so forth. So yeah, there's going to be FUD, okay? And yeah, you know, if what the story is about is true, then we as people in the crypto market should be told about it. But there is a difference between informing us of news and trying to drive fear. Okay, and that's what I'm basically driving at, is there's a difference between those two things. So anyway, so as you all know, we had the Senate Banking Committee, their hearing on cryptocurrencies yesterday. It was overall a good hearing. You know, what came out of that? It was a lot of optimism on the part of the CFTC chair. Not as much from the SEC chair, but it wasn't, you know, as bad as it could have been. Let's put it that way. So this from the SEC Office of Compliance Inspections and Examinations, OCIE, intends to prioritize an examination of developments in the cryptocurrency and initial coin offering markets this year. Revealed today in the agency's annual examination priorities update, the OCIE said it will broach the industry under its mandate to improve compliance, monitor risk, and prevent fraud in the U.S. financial markets. In particular, the agency resolved to explore whether adequate disclosures about the risks associated with these investments were being given to investors. The OCIE announcement arrives one day after the SEC top officer, Chairman Jay Clayton, attended a widely watched Senate Banking Committee hearing on cryptocurrency regulation, where he spoke at length about the evolving market dynamics and the possibility of future regulation. As the markets continually evolve and the products and services available to investors adapt, OCIE remains committed to its risk-based examination program to prioritizing the interests of retail investors and examining those aspects of securities firms posing risks to investors in the proper functioning of our capital markets, OCIE Director Pete Driscoll stated in a press release. Driscoll went on to state the OCIE will also monitor businesses and individuals involved in the sale and marketing of ICOs. Other issues the OCIE intends to prioritize in 2018 include anti-money laundering programs, cybersecurity, and compliance and risks in market infrastructure. As reported by CoinDesk, the hearing included testimony from the heads of the Commodity Futures Exchange Trading Commission, CFTC, and the Securities Exchange Commission, SEC, and entertained a variety of topics including ICO regulation, market oversight, and cryptocurrency price volatility. So, like I said in my video yesterday, regulation is coming. We're just going to have to see in what form it comes. Is regulation a good thing? It depends how you look at it. Okay? It will definitely make it so it's not as much of a Wild West market. And, you know, it'll be safer. It will draw in people who wouldn't have otherwise got in because of the risk. Because there's so many scams and so many uncertainties. So investors who would not have normally got in, if we get some regulation, will get in. They will invest in cryptocurrencies. However, I think this will cut down on some of the volatility, which, depending on who you ask, may not be a good thing. Okay? A lot of the traders, the active traders, are in cryptocurrencies because of the volatility, because of the profit that you can make in a very short period of time. I mean, some of the price swings we've seen have been insane. And that either draws people into this market or scares them away. So, like I said, depending on who you ask. Just going to have to wait and see what happens. I do think they're really going to come down hard on ICOs. They're going to make it so you have to be an accredited investor. which not everybody can become an accredited investor. So, you know, the old VPN to get into an ICO will probably stop working. It will probably, mostly for most ICOs, they will probably instate some kind of KYC verification, know your customer, to ensure that you are either an accredited investor or not a US citizen. And that's just more than likely what's going to happen. I was talking with one of my subscribers on yesterday's video, Robert, about that. And, you know, we've already seen ICOs that have had KYC, and just some that I can name off the top of my head are Kin. I think FUD instated that, not in the pre-ICO, but in the ICO they instated KYC, if I'm not mistaken. And there have been many others too. So, but the good news is they are not going for an outright ban. Not that they could enforce it, but it would definitely take the market down in price. So it would be dumb on their part to do that. There would be a lot of pissed off people, and you cannot put trying to think of how to word this next statement here. The technology that is behind this blockchain technology has so many good uses, and for them to try to stop this would be foolish. It would be a fool's errand. And you know, I'll leave it at that. So anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I really wanted to talk about today. Other than that, not much else going on other than this, which I'm quite happy about. So follow me on Twitter at TruthBlitzMedia. Subscribe to that Block Party Podcast official YouTube channel in the description, and hit the bell. And I'll see you guys next time.